Hi everyone, welcome back. Look, I've been thinking about this video for a while. Something is clearly shifting in the financial system. You can see it, you can feel it. You might not fully understand it, but the rules are clearly changing. The way money works, the way money has worked historically is changing. And a lot of us are still maybe looking at it the way we did 10 years ago. So in today's video, I want to break this down, and I want to do it as clearly as I can, not some surface level thing, not just what you'll see on the headlines, but let's have a look at how it actually works and where it's actually going. See, if we talk about the future of money and you ask people, most people are probably going to tell you something like Bitcoin or cash or gold, okay? And it's not. Those are just three different types of money. Most of you are going to be familiar with what they are. Gold is obviously a tangible store of value that you can hold in your hands. It's been trusted for thousands of years. It can't be printed, can't be inflated or created out of just thin air. Cash, on the other hand, is physical, government issued money. You can hold it, you can spend it, you can use it privately. Keep it in your little safe at home. Bitcoin, it's different again. That's digital, decentralized money. No government can actually control Bitcoin itself. But each one of these forms of money are just different ways of holding value or transacting. Digital freedom. You've got state-backed currency, and then you've got hard physical wealth. But none of these address the actual bigger issue that's happening around them. The real future of money is actually access. The word is access. Remember that. It's not money itself, it's access. It's not actually what you own anymore, or it won't be. It'll be about what you're allowed to use. And this is the uncomfortable part. We're not moving toward it now, we're actually already in the early stages of it. Let me explain something that most people probably don't quite understand. You don't live in a money system anymore. We live in a permission system. Your bank account is permission. Your ability to transact, to make transactions, permission. Your ability to move money around, again, requires permission. And right now, sure, we might still feel free because the system hasn't yet fully connected. But once it does, and it is slowly, well, then everything begins to change. So let's just strip it back. When people think of money, they typically think cash, gold, Bitcoin, okay? Crypto might be XRP or ETH or XLM or, wrong, okay? Money today is ledger entries controlled by institutions, by banks. Banks don't actually hold your money. They don't store it somewhere in a safe for you. All they hold is simply a record of what you're allowed to access. And that's pretty much it. And as far as governments are concerned, they don't need to take your money. They just need to control the ledger. And that's where this is all heading in our modern monetary society. Now, central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, everyone debates them in the same way. Will they replace cash? Will they kill Bitcoin? These are the wrong questions. The real question is, what happens when money gets tied to your identity? Because that's the key. Not digital money, digital identity, linked to money. Once that happens, well, no ID, no transactions. No compliance, very simple, you get no access. No participation, okay, then no economy. And that's where this goes. You can feel it happening, but it's not quite fully there yet. See, government policy is clearly already moving in this direction. Whether it's here in Australia, whether it's in the United States via legislation, you've got stable coin regulation happening, anti-CBDC bills, digital ID frameworks. It's all orbiting one idea, and that is to control the rails. And when I say control the rails, what does that mean? Well, it means controlling the path that money moves on, not controlling the money itself, but the system around it, the system that allows it to be transacted, that allows it to be sent, received, approved, blocked. Because if you control the rails, you decide what goes through and you decide what doesn't go through. And even when politicians say they're against control, well, they're still building and participating in a system of control because the system itself demands it. So this isn't about left and right. This is about system versus you, versus the individual. Now, just so that I'm clear, many of you will know that I'm a massive Bitcoin fan, right? I think it's the hardest money that's ever been created. It's decentralized, it's limited. No one can print more of it. And to me, that matters. That's very important. But there's something that people don't necessarily want to face. See, governments might not be able to actually control Bitcoin itself, but they can control you. They can regulate you. They can restrict your access. They can tax it. And if they want to, they can make it illegal to even use it. It's not happening like that now. It could even be illegal just to hold it. And if that sounds extreme, well, just look at history. Gold was banned in the US years ago. So again, it comes back to the same point. It's not just about the money. It's about the rails. It's about access. Now, if we add to that, layer in technology, the way technology is advancing, this is where it starts to get real. Because you probably noticed this. You may have seen this. You may have experienced it. But you can just think about something. Like you might think about soccer balls or something like that. Mention something. And suddenly, you open up your social media feed and there it is. You got ads, products, suggestions about the very thing that was just going through your head or what you just mentioned. It's scary stuff. People will argue about how, tracking, data, prediction. I don't really care because ultimately the outcome is the same. The system knows you. The system tracks your behavior. It predicts your decisions. It's very advanced. It influences what you actually see. That's today. That's with a phone in your pocket. That's what happens. Now take that a step further, because it is going to go a step further by the looks of it. And if identity becomes digital and verified and connected, then the distance between you and the system gets closer, gets smaller. Right now, it's just in your phone. But it doesn't have to stay there. Now, I'm not saying that's tomorrow, but direction matters, and the direction is clear. It's you connected, it's you tracked, and you within the system. You're within the system, a part of it. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Like I said, Bitcoin itself is incredible. It's the best money that we've ever seen. It's hard, it's secure, it's decentralized. Bitcoin does not solve the access problem though. That's one thing. You can certainly own it, but if you can't connect for whatever reason, if you can't transact legally, if you can't interface with society, then what? And that's the gap. Bitcoin is the solution for money. It fixes money, but it does not fix the system around money. How do you connect online if you don't have your digital ID? All right, it's not law now, but down the track, how do you rent a house? How do you buy a property? How do you access healthcare? You might have the money, you might have your Bitcoin, you might have your cash, you might have your little gold bars or your gold coins. It doesn't matter. But if you don't comply, well then, how do you access? And if you can't access, if you don't access, if you aren't able to access, well then your money, no matter how hard it is useless. See, the real risk isn't actually inflation. It's not banks. It's not even losing money. The real risk is being outside of the system. Because once everything connects, the identification, the money, and the access, and the movement, and our services, access to services, well, you don't need force. You just need non-compliance. And that equals exclusion. See, we've seen it already in 2020. You know what that was? A pandemic. And what happened? People that didn't comply were locked out, they were restricted, they were barred, they were treated like garbage. Now that wasn't theory, that was real. That's how control works when we move forward, if you call it moving forward. So what do? Well, you don't panic. You don't ignore it, you try to understand it, because once you actually see it, well then you stop reacting, and maybe you can start thinking about ways to position yourself. This video isn't about fear, it's about awareness, because the future of money is not really what you think, and the sooner that you understand it, the better decisions that you'll make. And one more thing, it's us who have actually allowed this. We allowed this system to grow because most people were never taught how the system actually works. We weren't taught about money. We weren't really taught about the system. We weren't taught about control. The only way you push back is through quiet awareness. Now, if you want, I can break down in the next video exactly how I might position myself across various forms of money, whether it be cash or property or Bitcoin, and how we can get around this access, because that's what actually really matters. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you found the video useful. Make sure you like and subscribe, leave a comment in the box below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.